Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Cooper's Thailand Adventure Crypto Monday Talk Money Matters with my sidekick and good friend, Mr. Brooke Schneider. Thank you for joining us. As always, welcome back. First time we've been back together since before I went on our vacation.
Other than the pool.
Other than the pool, we've been at the pool every day, haven't we?
Yeah.
And wow, fantastic weather at the pool. And we've got a lot of fantastic news to report to you today that's happened in the last week in Misti and also in MicroStrategy. But before we get started into what happened there, Bitcoin went on a bit of a rampage today, and so did the altcoins. I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. Bitcoin was at 107.1. What a nice pump.
Nice. I was still sleeping.
You think 5 weeks ago we were at 75,000.
Wow, yes.
And now we're at 105, so a 30% increase.
And you know the best news?
What's that?
It's still on sale.
It's still on sale. There you go. A bit of a retracement back down to 105,273 live as we speak now. And so they went after all the shorts. Well, the money makers said, right, we're going after the shorts because there was a bit of a sell wall at 105, broke straight through it. All those shorts got liquidated.
Those guys.
Gone. And then somebody decided on Saturday, that they were going to do a Bitcoin long at
big one
at $390 million at a 40x.
At a 40x leverage.
At a 40x leverage.
Now they put quite a bit of equity in that. Their liquidation price is 95, which means if it goes to 95 or below, they're pretty well wiped out.
He's lost $390 million.
Yeah. So, however, on the positive, if he was smart at 107, I would have been selling a good slug, if not all that. Grab the gain and live for another day. But anyways,
yeah, that would have been a heck of a profit. And he's done the same on Ethereum. The same person has decided to do a long on Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Or short, man. I wouldn't be going long Ethereum. But
yeah, so watch out. We might have a bit of volatility today. Don't be surprised, folks, if Bitcoin, when the market opens tonight, our time in Thailand, Bitcoin drops down to 95 before the big pump up. That would not surprise me at all if they decide, right, we're going after this joker. Well, you put $390 million up for risk, we'll have it. Thank you very much.
And we'll see how the market makers do.
Right. So let's get into the news. What are you talking about, Coop? What's going on with Misti? What's going on with MicroStrategy? And we'll start it off with Brooke Schneider. What happened with Misti? They did an SEC filing.
What within the file? Well, they updated their prospectus, which basically is a government document required if you're changing the nature in a major way of your plans for how you're addressing the market. And in a nutshell, they basically now are allowed to own MicroStrategy stock.
Own it.
Yeah, which before that, they were strictly 100% into option trading.
Right.
So they didn't really own any of the underlying shares.
Correct.
But now they can. So I think that's a huge thing because they can actually buy stock and then again sell calls against that, like a covered call strategy, and yet probably capture more of the upward mobile gains. Another feature of that was that they're now allowed to do deep in the money call buying. And basically what that is, and the idea behind this is to capture more of the upswing.
Right.
With the old way they were doing things, they would, put on a trade with maybe a $20, $30, $40 upswing, and that was it. And if it went to $60 higher by the time the option was expiring, okay, well, they made money, but they didn't make as much as they could have. You know what I mean? They missed maybe $20 of the upside. So this way allows them to participate heavier in those upswings. And those were the two main ones. Other ones they're allowed with swaps, which that's kind of above my pay grade, but it's a way to make some more income. Let's just say all these things were giving them more flexibility to do. The majority obviously is with options. obviously some with the stock ownership, but yeah. So summarizing, what's this all mean? To me, this all means that they're going to continue with their program of, creating income from options, volatility of options on MicroStrategy, in order to pay out successively higher and higher dividends.
Right.
And they have seen this Misti take off, as we all have.
It's a $4 billion fund now.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was 2.
Yeah.
So
doubled.
they've doubled. Yeah. And these naysayers that say, oh, well, this can't continue, it's ridiculous. Well, look at the history. Proof's in the pudding. They paid out consistently for 14 months.
Yeah.
At an issue price of $20 14 months ago, it's trading at 23 and change currently. And so there's your appreciation. Oh, but they paid out $36 in dividends.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's proof's in the pudding. So will it continue? Can it continue? Things like they've just accomplished with the new prospectus gives them more versatility in order to continue winning. Now, obviously, everything's based on, in my opinion, Bitcoin. Where do we think it's going? Up.
Yeah.
Following that is MicroStrategy. Well, 97% of Bitcoin's appreciation, MicroStrategy tracks. So what's the future of that? Upwards. What does that generate? It generates volatility and option premiums for Misti, okay, which is a play on MicroStrategy's volatility, and that's going to continue going up, in my opinion. So long and short is, you got bing, bing, bing. They're all tied together. Your thesis is Bitcoin going to be around? Is it going to keep going up? Yes, we both believe that. Therefore, ergo, we think Misti will do well, which so.
And I've been looking at a lot of the market predictors. That's their job. They predict where the market's going to go this year. And of the top 12 market predictors on the planet, the average is saying Bitcoin's going to somewhere between 270,000 to 340,000 this year.
This year? Wow.
This year. That's the average. If you took all 14 of them, divided them by 14, you would have that average. Now, here's what concerns me. One of the best predictors in market is the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink.
He's pretty good.
He is very good. He came in with the highest price yet of all the predictors that I follow. And do you know what the price is he came out with? His prediction?
700 big ones.
700,000 Bitcoin peak this year.
Yes. I think he gave a range,
Now, he said that that is with a 3 to 5% allocation in Bitcoin.
From investment advisors into their, accounts.
Into their accounts. So he must know that this is happening to come up with a wild figure like that. And I'm going to call it wild, folks. I really am. And it's way above everybody's expectation. Yeah, we've heard crazy predictions from people like Samson. Now Bitcoin's going to $1 million this year. But for BlackRock, the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, to come out and say Bitcoin's going to hit 700,000 this year.
It could. It's a range. I think they said between 150 and 700. 700 if say people just adopt simply 5%. 5% of a massive amount of.
But you wouldn't come out with a figure like that unless you knew it was possible.
Oh, absolutely. Hey,
you wouldn't come out with a wild figure like that if you knew there was zero chance that it's going to happen.
There's a good chance it could hit $1 million this year, which is bigger.
Yeah, there's a better chance.
But and I'll tell you how that
would
happen. Out. And if Trump turns around and tomorrow signs a Bitcoin reserve for the United States of America. Oh, and by the way, we purchased 400,000 Bitcoin without, reporting it. So now we have 600, 200 we own and we bought. I mean, things would go ballistic in the market because everybody and their brother would be getting on the bandwagon, meaning I'm not talking you and me. I'm talking sovereign wealth funds, countries. They're going to wake up and say, hey, we can print this paper money and buy something real, Bitcoin. Let's do it. And, you know, everybody jumps on. So,
and we're not far away from that announcement either.
I think you're right.
And because he ordered that his crypto czars, I'll call them for want of a better word, that they come back with a proposal on his desk by the 15th of next month. So we're less than 30 days away from knowing. Hence, that could be the reason that we're getting the big pumps right now in crypto.
Yeah. So listen, the key takeaway is it's not too late.
No,
it's not too late to get positioned into Bitcoin or possibly MicroStrategy, Misti if you need an income check every month to live on before the things start to rocket. And, you know, I mean, in my opinion, Bitcoin will always be on sale. But are you better to be in early or late? Well, there you go.
And I think we're still early now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So what's happening, guys? Let's just stop and take a step back. You're getting sovereign wealth funds on the planet now buying Bitcoin. And guys, hear this, MicroStrategy. You know what I mean? You're getting pension funds. I think last count there was over 200 just in the States alone that have either, you know, Bitcoin on their balance sheets, more than likely MicroStrategy, you know, as a Bitcoin play in their pension funds. You know, you've got the general public obviously participating, but and finally, you've got governments. Governments are the only ones that can print their own money.
Correct.
And that's where they're starting to realize, well, shit, you know, we got this paper printing press, which, you know, we can just keep that running and we can actually get some Bitcoin. Maybe we should.
Yeah. And it goes much further than that. Abu Dhabi just announced they have over 1 million shares of IBET.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which is the Bitcoin play.
And that's in their sovereign wealth fund.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's in Bitcoin.
What did your half brother do? Jamie Dimon. What did he do?
Jamie Dimon, he's a funny character. And you got to watch out for these big guys in the market. And he talks a lot of BS. He was at Davos a few months ago. And he said, this is going to be the last time I talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is nothing. It will always be nothing. And it will never amount to a hill of beans. Yeah. And he said, this will be the last time you will hear me talk about Bitcoin. Well, Jamie Dimon just filed his S1 filings to the SEC.
Of stockholders.
Of the stocks that he owns. Guess what? He owns over 1 million shares of MicroStrategy.
Oh, a Bitcoin play.
A Bitcoin play.
Yes.
The man that said it was going to nowhere.
Yeah.
Bought 1 million shares of MicroStrategy.
Which is quite common, guys, because they're not going to tell you what they're doing. They're going to try and depress the stock price because they want to get in.
Exactly.
Yep. And
so he lied his ass off to keep the stock price down, stop everybody else from buying so he can get in cheap.
Yeah. Now him, I believe we're talking about JP Morgan, which is the bank he runs. So yeah. Anyways, that's interesting how they lie, cheat, and steal.
It is.
And
you got to watch these money makers because they will talk a stock down. So the price goes down because a lot of people listen to him.
Yeah.
You know, he's a billionaire. And they listen to him. And then he goes in and buys it. Yep. You know, I'd like to see him go back on Squawk Box and they say, excuse me, all this shit you were talking about Bitcoin, we just saw your S1 filing. You have over 1 million shares of MicroStrategy. Isn't that a Bitcoin play?
One of two answers to that would be,
and I'd love to hear his answer.
Yeah,
on
number one would be, what we do?
Yeah,
but more than likely it would be, well, you know, we started looking into it further and we decided, yeah, maybe it is a good idea. So during the time I was telling you to don't touch it, we actually were buying.
Yeah, that would be a corker of a show. I'd love to watch that one. And that is what today's show is all about, folks. Don't listen to the naysayers when they're turning around and saying, oh, Bitcoin is nothing. Well, if it's nothing, why did it go from $1,000 all the way up to $107,000 in the space of only 4 years? It was 6 years, actually. You know, no other market has done that on the planet. It's the best performing asset on the planet. And then I started looking at the predictors, where they think Bitcoin will be, where they think MicroStrategy will be, and my prediction of where I think Misti will be in relation to all this. So if Bitcoin was to hit 250,000, we'll sandbag it a bit. We'll say that Bitcoin hits 250 high this year. Well, at $180,000, MicroStrategy will be at $1,200 per share. So if MicroStrategy jumps up from where it is now to 1,200, that's just 3x from now.
Okay.
All right. So what would happen to Misti? Well, if MicroStrategy jumps up 300%, you could expect Misti to jump up 200%.
Okay.
Yeah. And that would put Misti share price in the $100 a share range, 75 to 100.
No, it's trading at 24, so you'd be a high of 50 would be.
Well, that's a doubling.
Yeah.
Add another 20% on top of that, 25.
60,
yeah.
65.
So somewhere around this, yeah, I would say 70 to be safe. Because Misti tracks the share price of MicroStrategy. And at the moment, it's following at 80 to 90%. So I'll lower it another 10% and say 70%. And you're looking at about $70 to $100 for a price of one share of Misti.
I know you and I differ on this.
That's at 180,000.
Okay.
If it goes to 250, I say Misti would be $100 a share.
Well, you and I differ on that. So
what do you think?
First off, I would tell anyone, look, you're not in Misti to get capital appreciation in the stock. I wouldn't look at that. If you can maintain your stock value, your net asset value, that's good. You're in there for the distributions every month. And that I can see that definitely continuing. But do I see a stock tripling in Misti? No. You do maybe, but now having said that, at 250, well, stranger things have happened. I could see MicroStrategy going ballistic if that was the case because of their bag. You know, even some of the miners with big bags, I could see them finally taking off. But Misti, again, we'll see and time will tell. What I am certain of is that monthly distribution will continue. And that's what I think most people should be in it for. I mean, if you're into NVIDIA, you're hoping the stock price doubles. If you're in MicroStrategy, again, like us, you're hoping it doubles, triples. Tesla, same thing. I'm not into Misti hoping the stock price doubles. I'm in there for that check every month. Hey, I want my money. I want my money today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And hey, that's why we're there. But time will tell.
Yeah. And the next dividend payment for Misti is on the 6th of next month.
Oh, goody.
So they declare on the 4th, pay on the 6th.
Yep. And then July is
will be coming. It's every 4 weeks.
Second
so
or third or fourth.
It moves closer down towards the beginning of the month.
But tell us the good news for August.
August, we get 2 payments.
Whoa! Wow!
2 payments
really?
of Misti.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. 2 payments.
Oh man, we love that, don't we?
And then October and November is they have to pay out the 90% of their profits. They have to pay out to the shareholders to the year.
Yeah.
So that's when you'll get the 2 big payments like they did last year. They split it between August and November.
No, October.
October and November, my bad. Yes.
Yeah, let's hope that continues. I think it should. They probably split that over the 2 months. So they obviously, they're not stupid guys. They retained a lot of that income for the end of the year, and then they're mandated to pay it out.
Yeah.
You know, the reason they would maintain that, hey, we've always got money to pay every month. We're going to pay, you know what I mean? And hopefully we make even more. And they did, you know. But I think they split it. And if they declare it by the end of October, it's okay to issue the declaration in November. So that's why I think those two were that high. They were over $4 each.
Exactly.
On a $22, $23 stock, boys. That's not bad.
That's not bad return at all.
No, 20% for 1 month. Hello,
for 2 months.
It can't be. It can't be. Yes. It cannot be
so
that.
You got 40% return in 2 months. Wow, absolutely fantastic. And then there was some depressing news that came out, and this one came out in relation to England. I don't know if you know about this, Brooke, but England has just changed the rules on crypto, and it's going to go into effect from January 1st next year. If you own crypto of any kind, you will be paying capital gains tax.
Okay.
And on the sale. So even if you own crypto on the US stock market and you sell it, you have to pay UK capital gains tax.
Okay, well.
And that scared the hell out of me a bit. And so I went in and I did my due diligence, and I sat there for about 4 hours researching. And here's what I was able to find out, folks. If you are a British citizen and a non-resident, okay, say you're retired in Thailand, you do not have to pay the capital gains tax on your foreign ownership of crypto. If you own it on the UK stock market, yes.
Okay.
But if you own it in another country, for example, me, America, the New York Stock Exchange, I would not have to pay it. And the rule is that you have to be, you cannot reside in England for more than, it's like 2 weeks per year. And there is a further exemption that if you've been out the country for more than 3 years and you haven't spent more than 40 days in England, that you're exempt too. Well, I haven't lived in England since, what was it, 2010.
Yeah.
So I've been out the country for 15 years. I did go back to renew my passport, but only stayed for 4 days. So I'm well under the threshold, and it doesn't apply to me. I did go on to HRMC, Her Majesty's Customs and Revenue Department, and I checked on there, and it confirmed what I thought.
You're definitely a non-resident.
I'm definitely a non-resident, you know. And I was thinking, that's a good thing. You know, I don't want to get hit by a huge tax from, you know, capital gains tax in the UK. So I'm lucky in that respect.
Yeah.
So if you're in England come January the 1st, and you're a resident of England or a citizen, you're going to be getting hit with capital gains tax. Now, it's only on if you sold it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you transfer it from one wallet to another wallet, you're okay. However, let's say you have Bitcoin and you think Solana's going to do a big run and you want to change your Bitcoin into Solana, for example, or any of the other alts out there, you have to pay capital gains tax.
Yeah.
You can't just switch one from the other, sell one, buy the other. Nope, you got to pay capital gains tax.
Don't ever sell
because you sold it. So
sell a kidney rather. Don't sell a Bitcoin.
So England is going after the crypto people, is the way I see it. Not good news for England.
Look at all these governments are going to need money. They're all in huge deficits. They're looking at ways to generate additional taxes, income, call it whatever you want, for, you know, to service all these debts they built up over the decades. And hey, they're going to, obviously crypto is going to be looked at and in most cases heavily taxed. Now, you know, people will do the walking. I mean, if there's a crypto friendly jurisdiction, and there is already, Dubai is one, El Salvador is one, several others. I think Thailand's not even too bad.
No, 10% tax.
Yeah. So, you know, that's livable.
Yeah.
People will actually gravitate to those jurisdictions with this, you know, better tax jurisdictions.
And
let's say.
Thailand's announced they want to go to zero.
Well, good.
They have
Very good.
announced they want to go to zero. They just haven't implemented it yet.
Yeah.
But no, the president of Thailand, she said, I want to go to zero. I want to make this a crypto hub, just like Dubai
With
and El Salvador.
getting back to Misti for a second, you know, we have tax treaties with the U.S. Most countries do, guys. So you want to make sure if you're getting into Misti that you look into this tax treaty provision. Most times your platform where you deal, that can answer that question for you should be no more than 15%. Most of them are 15.
Yeah.
I know a case of a gentleman that got his dividend and there was a 30% withholding. He had incorrectly ticked one of the boxes. I guess it was, we don't have a tax treaty box he ticked off. So, you know, unfortunately, but you can rectify that. So going forward, but pretty well when you pay that, you're not going to see it back unless you file a U.S. tax return, which nobody's going to do if they're Canadian or, you know. But anyways, yeah, so that's just information.
Yeah, I was helping one of our subscribers out at the pool set up IBKR yesterday.
I heard that.
And while I was helping him set it up, one of the questions in there is, do you have American Social Security number? And then the next one under that is, you know, what country are you from? And does your country have a tax treaty with the U.S.?
Yes.
And he was able to put, I'm from Australia.
Yep.
Yes, we have a tax treaty with the U.S. and it recognized it straight away. So he'll only pay 15%.
15%, that is, yeah.
And he doesn't have to worry about getting a bill because it comes out automatically. So what you get in your account is already tax deducted.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good.
So huge news. And a lot of S1 filings were done in the last week. And a lot of these big brokers that said that they weren't going to touch Bitcoin, all of a sudden own a lot of MicroStrategy.
The one I find amazing is Vanguard.
Yes.
Vanguard, remember when the ETFs were started, you know, opened, and BlackRock was into it, Fidelity was into it, you know, the big boys, the biggest of the big. Well, Vanguard's right up there, neck and neck with BlackRock. Nope, we're not touching that. That's a fool's game. They wouldn't even allow their customers, and there's a massive base of customers, to invest in the ETFs that were allowed. You know, so they couldn't even buy BlackRock's, you know, in their platform. Well, what do they end up owning?
MicroStrategy.
Huge amounts.
Huge amounts.
Yeah, like 6% of MicroStrategy's stock is owned by Vanguard.
So don't do as we do, do as we say.
Yeah, exactly. So just shows you how crooked some of the big boys are.
But, they want to make all the profits and let the little man suffer.
Yeah. Still amazes me.
Buy bonds. Yeah, at 3%.
So if you're with Vanguard, guys, take a look at, you know, you're with a company that won't allow you to, you know what's best with your money. They won't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Exactly. Right. Let's get the show started and see who we got online.
Yeah. 30 minutes in. Tony Montana. Good morning, Cooper, Brooke, Darlene, Jackie, and all the gang watching. It's another day in paradise. Correctamundo, Tony.
Yes, it is, Tony.
Tony the Tiger. Tony again, Brooke, someone said that you can buy Misti here in Thailand with Thai Bot. Do you know what company is available in Thailand? Okay. I did do some research on that, Tony, and I have not found a company. There's companies that you can buy Misti in Thailand.
Okay.
And you'll have to transfer, you have to use US dollars to buy Misti. So you got to basically transfer in Thai Bot, exchange it for US, and then you go ahead and buy. So, and if you're using a foreign currency, your platforms typically will do an exchange ratio, you know, and maybe you get boned. So watch out for that. Better to go in with whatever currency you have, get it put into US dollars before you buy. So then you know exactly how much you got to spend, you know what I mean? And then buy your shares. So I know, you know, Tony's Australian, guys, and I know there's Australian boys that have bought Misti. Typically, I think the platform there is Stake, it's called. And but they have to convert that into US dollars. So no, Tony, to answer specifically, haven't found one yet. You know, and if you know someone, hey, let us know and we'll definitely spread the word.
Good advice.
Malcolm Hawkins. Ooh, that name rings a bell. Mal, good morning, Team Coops.
Good morning, Mal and Katea. Thank you for coming on and joining us.
Tony again. Good morning, Mal and Katea. Blakester Drums. Good morning, Vietnam or Thailand. Let's make some money. Have a great show, guys.
And thank you, Blakester Drums. Yes, good morning, Thailand.
Richard Duger, that name rings a bell.
That's
Bubba.
Bubba.
Hello, everyone from Alabama.
And hello, Bubba. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Richard again says, Darlene, she will cut her hair for 100 baht. I don't think so.
She said to you she'll cut it for 1 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay.
And she wants paying
Step
first.
up, Bubba. Step up. Roger Walker. Good morning. Good evening, everyone.
Good morning to you, Roger.
Tony again. Morning, Bubba. Nomad Jack, there he is. We met Nomad Jack the other day. Good morning, CBD and gang. Happy Misty Monday.
Yeah, I think Misti's going to be going up nicely on the pre-market, about 30-40 cents per share.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yep.
808 Bear, good morning, everyone. After my first goal of retiring and jumped in is to beat Tony Thailand for first comment. Yeah, well, Tony sets his alarm. He's up a couple hours.
Yeah. As soon as the banner comes out, he comments.
And 808 was the channel member.
Yeah.
Richard Woolley, also channel member. Thank you. I love Misty and hi to all.
And so do we. That's why we bought it. And Brooke has finally been orange pilled and bought some Misty. Well done.
Well,
Mr.
hang on. No, I had bought it a while ago. I bought it before you bought yours, rascal.
And then you sold it.
Well, I got incorrect information. You know, I was told the tax thing was 30, and I said that can't be. And you know, anyways, it was incorrect. It was a front end guy that didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. But I spoke to the back office guys. They assured me vociferously that it's only 15%. So yeah, we did.
So you bought back in.
Yep.
Well done, buddy. Well done.
And here's a trick for Canadians if you're watching the show. Do your utmost to flip your TFSA tax-free savings account into Misty, which is what I did. I'm just giving you this, hey, my personal opinion, what I did, because I'll be able to pull all those dividends every month out tax-free. Wow. And that's a godsend in Canada because, you know, they'll tax the heck out of us. And the other benefit for Canadians is that you can't put that money back in during the year you take it out. But starting January 1st the following year, your amount that you can contribute is that whatever you took out the prior year and another, well, last year was 7,000. So you can continually grow your bag putting money in. So
very nice.
I'm looking at, I have a retirement account income fund that's taxable. So I'm going to start pulling out the minimum of that every year, put it into the TFSA. I'll have enough room. And eventually you grow your big bag, which is non-taxable, and reduce your taxable one, which, you know, anyways, just personal planning.
And I feel sorry for all my non-American and non-Canadian friends out there, even those from Australia, because I saw on the Australian news last week, the Prime Minister of Australia going after unrealized capital gains tax.
Yeah. Crazy.
And they said it's only going to affect those that have 3 million. So about 80,000 people in Australia in assets.
You own a couple houses.
So say you own a house,
3 million.
The house price goes up from 1.1 million to 1.4 million in a year. And if you, maybe it's in Sydney. So, you know, that's normal in Sydney because it's the capital. And you haven't sold the house, but yet they're going to tax you on the 300,000 difference that your price is worth.
I find that
your house is
worth, but you know, nothing. I wouldn't put past those politicians.
Yeah, I was watching it on Sky News this week.
Okay.
Sky News Australia.
Crazy.
Yeah, couldn't.
I think a lot of
couldn't believe it.
Idiotic ideas like that are presented, but don't actually make it because people. I mean, you know, even the States was talking about that. Well, that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
you haven't sold anything, and yet they want their money.
Exactly.
Well, what if the price were to plummet?
Do I get a rebate?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah,
we don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, do I get a refund?
We'll give you a credit.
yeah, what
good
credit?
luck.
Good luck with that.
Jeff Trio, evening, guys. Evening, Jeff He.
And thank you, Bear and Richard Woolley, for both being channel members and having the badge next to your name. Much appreciated.
Roger Walker, Mr. Duger, what part of Alabama are you in? Bubba, what's Duke doing these days?
I have no idea, but he's always on the show.
Bitcoin was just at a 107. Which one of your paper hands sold? Not me.
Not me. I am not selling my Bitcoin. No way. Well, I've changed my Bitcoin into MicroStrategy because I think MicroStrategy is going to go way up this year. And probably, I'm putting the probability at about 60%. There's going to be another stock split this year, 10-1 with MicroStrategy.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, if it hits around 1,000 to 1,200, I'm sure you'll see another 10-for-1.
Yeah.
Goody.
I missed the last one. I'm not going to miss the next one.
I did not. Ken Beck, hello, Bitcoiners. Bitcoin went to 107. Yeah, a few minutes ago, correct?
Yeah,
Kenny?
it did. It was about an hour ago, and it wicked to 107. I captured it on my cell phone. 107.100, I believe, was the price that I captured on my cell phone. I'll just take a look. And I did. I captured it at 107.134. There you go. That was the price this morning when I woke up. 107.134. So very nice for Bitcoin.
Stephen Boston, good morning all from Australia.
And good morning, Steve in Boston. Thank you for coming on and joining us and being a channel member and having the badge next to your name. Much appreciated. And to you too, John, for having it.
Johnny says, good morning all from coastal North Carolina.
Good morning,
nice
John. Thank you for coming on and joining us, buddy.
Yeah, channel member
Get
too.
your questions in the comments. We'll do our best to answer.
Dandy Don Dominic, Mr. XRP, by the way.
Yes, he is, Captain XRP.
Good morning, everyone. A beautiful day at Dusty Grand Park 2. A wonderful day in crypto land. It will become so bright, we have to wear sunglasses.
Even in the dark.
Yes. Donnie's right on that. He's loving life here.
Yep.
Kenny Beck says, treat Bitcoin like gas. No matter what the price is, dollar cost average into it on schedule. Correctamundo. It may seem high, but in 4 years, you'll kick yourself for not buying. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Never sell. Sell a kidney before you sell your Bitcoin, guys.
Exactly.
Tony Montana says, morning nomad. Yep. Richard Woolley. I sold my Bitcoin and lost a couple of hundred, but then got 1,500 shares of Misti at 2074. So I'm happy like a pig in doodah. Yeah. Well, I guess he did a flipping from Bitcoin into Misti, and he's looking for the monthly check.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I took my Bitcoin that I had in Fidelity. I sold that. Half I put into MicroStrategy. The other half I put into Misti. And then the dividends I'm collecting every month from Misti, I'm taking half of that as profits. The other half I'm reinvesting it back into Misti and Tesla right now.
Okay, well, good on you.
Because I can see Tesla right now, which is just below $350 a share. I can see that hitting 600 this year.
Yeah.
Especially when the robo-taxis roll out next month in Austin, and then at the end of the year when the robots come out. So I think that'll drive the price up right there.
So I'm like Coop. I don't own pure Bitcoin outright. So I don't own the coins in a hard wallet. For me, I didn't want the aggravation of worrying about losing things, forgetting words. You know, something happens to me, goodbye to the Bitcoin. And I didn't own it through the ETFs. And the reason was, geez, I didn't really see a way to generate income. At that time, they didn't have any options on the ETFs. But I did realize that MicroStrategy is a pure Bitcoin play, guys, you know, and that I could generate income from selling calls against the stock. So to me, and I know Coop kind of thinks the same way, our Bitcoin holdings are basically through MicroStrategy.
Yeah.
Who, you know, believe it or not, I think is going to be the biggest on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be neck and neck with BlackRock. But anyways, that's how that works. But good on you, Richard, for getting your 1,500 shares of Misti. You're probably going to generate in excess of $3,000 US a month just to help you live. So
yeah, and right now MicroStrategy holds about 560,000 Bitcoin. BlackRock 630,000.
Yeah.
So they're not far away from each other.
No.
Yeah.
But see, BlackRock, you'll see ups and downs in their holdings. You know, if the price does escalate, I can see actually people selling. You know, you'll get that sell.
But MicroStrategy doesn't, because he ain't never selling.
Never selling. I mean, those are locked away, gone forever off the market. and the prices slowly will keep rising. So good on them. LB 5150, greetings CBD and family.
Good morning to you, Las Vegas 5150. Thank you for being a channel member. And Richard, of course, thank you as well. Ken Beck and Don Dental. Sorry I didn't give you a shout out. And also to Ernest Jones.
I want to thank Ernie here. Good morning, guys. Go Misty, go. Yeah, Ernie was, you know, Ernie, I was up late today. I didn't get a chance to shave.
Me either.
Yeah, Cooper knows I slept in, you know.
Ditto.
But Ernie, what I'll tell you, the one thing I missed here in Thailand, Coop, after my Fusion 5 blades ran out, was
I've shown you where to buy them.
A decent. Oh, I bought them. I bought them online. I bought them at the start.
No,
they're all fake.
I told you where to buy them. I actually said these are the ones you want. We were in the store together. Festival Mall, Tops.
Yeah.
They sell the originals in there.
Don't trust anybody here selling blades, okay? I bought them twice. I bought from the store, bought them online. They're all fake. But anyways, I'll continue with my story if it's okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Ernest messages me and says, Brooke, are these the blades you'd like?
Yeah.
I says, oh, geez, yeah. Thanks so much. And he bought them in the West for me. I said, I'll pay you, you know, when you get here. Well, he brings me this huge bag. I've probably got enough for like 5 years, okay? And I want my hats off to you, Ernest. Thanks so much for helping me out on that. And the good news is I did slide a couple little things to Coop.
Yeah,
so
thank you for that.
He'll be able to have a good shave too. So hats off to
after
Ernie.
the show.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ernest, for the care package. The kids absolutely are ecstatic. The first time they've ever tried Hostess cakes, Twinkies, and Ding Dongs, and they like them. They loving them, and Darlene too. So thank you for the care package. Much appreciated, Ernest.
Yeah. Robert Pierpont, if anyone knew Bitcoin was, oh, and by the way, Ernest is going to be in Dusset 1.
Yeah, he's moving across the street. News. Yeah.
Robert Pierpont, if anyone knew Bitcoin was going to 700K this year, they would sell everything and buy all Bitcoin. Come on, if you knew this, you would 7x all your money and not mess around making 5, 10, 20 on other stuff. Yeah, well, you know, again, Robert, these are projections, you know, and you know, you don't want to bet bet your whole basket on something like that. You want to put a percentage in, you know, diversify out. And I'm not a big believer in, you know, 30 stocks to own, but still you probably want more than one, you know. So but yeah, you maybe want a small percentage into Bitcoin just on the off chance it did, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, it will 7x at some point, Robert. So I have no doubt on that, nor should you. The question is when.
Exactly.
Is it this year, next year, 3 years, 5 years? But it will do a 7x.
Yeah.
You know, and then a 10, and then a 20.
And some of the top crypto people on the planet are saying that this bear market that we're supposed to be going into next year is going to be very short-lived. It's not going to be the normal 18-month bear market that we're used to, and then 2.5 year bull market. So they're now saying it's going to be less than 6 months.
I can believe that.
You know, because if the US government next month comes in and buys Bitcoin, it's game over. It's game over. Because everybody, all these sovereign wealth funds are going to have to jump on the bandwagon.
And countries as well.
You know, people like Michael Saylor are speaking to these sovereign wealth funds.
Yes.
You know, and they're saying to them, if America does it, we have to jump on the bandwagon. We have to do it too. We can't be bottom of the barrel.
No, a lot of them are doing it already. And it's not in
front running it.
Exactly. It's not in their interest to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, some of them probably will deny it. Like Jamie Dimon denied, you know.
Yeah.
And the reason is they want to build their bags at an affordable price versus once it's announced, look out, you know, then it's through the roof. And maybe it's a little too late to buy for some of them then, or they'll still buy, but it just will be paying a lot more.
If the US government announces we just bought, you know, 200,000 Bitcoin, for example, imagine what's going to happen to the Bitcoin price.
Who was the idiot?
It'll go north of 500,000.
Yeah.
This year.
Who was the idiot in Germany said, you know what? let's sell those Bitcoin. We can use that money.
And sold it for, what was it?
$40,000 a coin. Yeah,
they lost 60%.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, by selling
it. Yep. And they'll be buying it back.
Yes.
You know, there's already
at a higher price.
Blakester Drums, in my opinion, for the majority of us poor people, Bitcoin is too expensive to get into now. Not really, Blakester. At 700K, that's a 7x gain. XRP will gain 7x as quickly and for much cheaper, just my opinion. Yeah.
But you can buy sats, Blakester.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. I know a lot of people on the planet can't afford 105,000 to buy a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know, that's nuts.
Nor would they want to.
They wouldn't want to,
No.
but they can buy 0.1% of a Bitcoin.
Or you buy the ETFs.
Or you buy the ETFs.
Yeah, the share is $60. Well, you pick up a share. That'll give you so many sats of it. And they do track Bitcoin. If Bitcoin doubles, your share price doubles.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you just get onto the market. It's protected. You don't have to worry about the coins that way. You just have your stock, your shares. If you can shelter it in a tax-free account, bingo, your growth will be tax-free. So, yeah, there's ways around it. Now, as far as XRP, a lot of people believe in it. It was many, many years it did nothing. Has had a nice run, you know, the last year or so, let's say. But I don't know. I'm just not a big believer in XRP. And I know the people we follow, for example, Invest Answers, have no use for it. But time will tell.
But XRP's done very well, though. I must admit it has done very well. And I can understand why those that are believers stay in it.
Well, I know a lot of, but there's several people I know that they've decided, okay, I've held XRP for a long time. I'm going to cut my bag by 3/4, put it into Misti.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They still kept some XRP on the off chance it does a 7x.
Exactly.
And then, you know, I said, well, this way you get a check every month. You don't have to worry about the price XRP, you know?
But at the end of the day, I hope we're all winners.
Yeah. Steve Dice, accounting to Warren Buffett's latest 13F, he is sold out of Nubank, which was his only Bitcoin play.
Yeah, we weren't talking about Warren Buffett. We were talking about Jamie Dimon. But yeah, he's another one that doesn't like Bitcoin.
I've never heard of this Nubank. And Buffett, you know, Munger is his old partner. Oh, Bitcoin, that's just rat poison squared.
Yeah,
you know, that was exactly. So yeah. That's not unusual.
But when asked, Munger said he wished that he would have bought it when it was 1,000.
Yeah, bingo.
In hindsight, yeah.
Blakester Drums, at Bitcoin's price point, my play is to ride the Bitcoin ETF rage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the ways, you know, there's the ETFs if you want to get into it. You don't have to buy a pure coin and worry about holding it in a cold wallet, you know. But, you know, you have the ETFs, which is the shares. You have things like MicroStrategy, you know. There's miners, for example, Emera. I have a bit of that. They hold a big bag of Bitcoin, almost 50,000 coins. It's nothing to sneeze about.
Exactly.
When it takes off. So there is other options how to play the Bitcoin rage. Robert Pierpont at Blakester Drums, you make no sense. 7x is 7x no matter what. If you dump cash into either one of the same money, 7x is 7x. The price per coin makes no difference. Well,
that's true.
Percentage wise,
yeah. So it doesn't matter if you buy, you know, 700 shares of XRP, 700 coins, or you buy 700 Satoshis. 7x is 7x.
Don't get me wrong. Like as Coop says, you know, we hope they all do well, but I have more certainty, 100% certainty where Bitcoin's headed. It eventually will 7x. I don't have that same certainty with XRP. So that's just the reason I'm saying that. But
a lot of the alts do follow Bitcoin, though. I watch the alts regularly, and a lot of them follow Bitcoin and outperform the Bitcoin too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the top 10, I would say definitely, you know, are up as well. I mean, Bitcoin's up right now 1.73%, and XRP is up 2.5%, for example.
The only one I do recommend, in fact, I bought into a bit, is Solana. It's kind of called the Ethereum killer, and most of the transactions on, you know, the blockchain are done with Solana or through Solana. So that's why. But again, it's a very small position I have. I know a lot of people, and I consider them smart individuals, have Solana.
Mm.
So, and again, it's a kind of a buy and hold. Don't trade it.
Good luck.
Richard Woolley, agreed. Blakester. Johnny Pulo, Southside Johnny from Aussieland. G'day, Cooper, Brooke, Darlene, and everyone watching the live stream. Hope everyone is well.
We are. We miss you, Johnny. Come back and make some of that good Greek coffee of yours.
Yes. Glenn Shaw, good morning. Brooke did an amazing job while Coop and the gang were enjoying life. I fly out May 26th. I hope Joe has a 2-bedroom ready. Can't wait to meet y'all.
Okay, be great to have you out here with us. Yeah, I did speak to Joe for one of my friends that's in Kuwait, and he wants to come out here on the 5th of next month and retire. And he wants a 1-bedroom. Joe says, sorry, I don't have any 1-bedrooms. I got studios and 2 bedrooms only.
Yeah.
All the 1-bedrooms are currently spoken for.
I took Ernie in the office and we spoke to Joe, and same thing. He didn't have any 1-bedrooms. And I said to Joe, I says, well, isn't that interesting? Oh, and then he said, and if he did, it'd be 17,000. Well, I started laughing. I said, Joe, I says, Cooper's channel has been so successful. You've rented out all the 1-bedrooms, and now you're jacking the price up on us all. Oh, he felt a little sheepish. Yeah, okay. Anyways, Ernie got one in Desert 1, and I think it was 14. So yeah, not so bad.
He said he can do it here for 15.
Good.
Yeah, for a 1-year contract.
I mean, sometimes you get so successful. I mean, geez, we're over 50 people now staying in Dusset here, I think.
60.
60. Now, there you go. Bingo. He did say, though, to Blakester's point here, or sorry, the prior one was there is 2 bedrooms.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's got a surplus of 2 bedrooms, and I believe studios.
Yes, he
surplus
does
as well.
Yeah.
So, oh, and I do have a number for that Chinese lady that has the 50 units she manages.
Okay.
But I've heard more than one person say she's a little
pricey.
She likes the long dollar. So Blakester Drums, I mentioned the newest MSTR ETF MST from Deviance, a weekly payout. Yeah, got 50 shares. No dividend to report on now because first options happen next Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching that and see how it does compared to Misti.
The issue, guys, I have, like, sure, the weekly sounds fine. But here's the problem you got to look at, in my opinion. They have to do all the calculations, finalize all the trades. They can only look at certain ones because why? They have to pay it out every week.
Yeah.
So maybe you're too limited in expiry dates, how far out you can go, the premium you can earn, because you just got to have that money every week to issue. Where with Misti, you got a whole month. You know what I mean? They can, they
can do it a bit more.
Yeah, a little more. The more versatility you have, in my opinion, the more efficient you become. But proof's in the pudding. We'll see how the 1 week guys do.
Yeah, fingers crossed there for you, Blakester.
Blakester Drums also talked about Palantir. Brooke mentioned it was expensive, even though distribution is high. I agree, but bought in because this ETF may be a dividend whore and be a semi-growth ETF as well. Prayers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Palantir is, I think, a good stock.
I do.
Yeah. Don't let the price of the stock throw you off. It's what kind of money are you making on it?
What kind of dividend?
Yeah, they're paying decent. But I think if you do the overall calculations, you'll find, I think Misti is a little better payer. Percentage wise. Yeah. However, you're diversifying with Palantir, and I don't think it's going anywhere. They seem to be right in the government's back pocket. So Terry Fallon, hello, Brooke, Cooper, and Darlene. Coop, really enjoyed meeting your kids in the last live stream. Brooke, I've traded the snowblower for the lawnmower. One job to another. Terry's up in Bancroft, the snow capital of Canada. So finally he got to, it's almost the end of May here. He's able to put the snowblower away.
Yeah, and it was fun having the kids on with me on the live stream. Malcolm said in the comments, little Darlene.
Little Darlene, yes. Oh, it's a mini Darlene.
Mini Darlene, yeah. And she is. She's just like her mother.
Yep. And a good girl.
Yeah, very good kids. Very good kids. Yeah. I'm going to miss them when they go back on Wednesday.
Andy Don, Delonic, Mr. XRP. Charles Schwab with 10 trillion is going to allow Bitcoin. SBI of Japan is buying Bitcoin. Big hedge funds joining together to buy Bitcoin. Yep. Lots of cooking in the oven for crypto, guys. Should be a great 2025. It will be,
And I think so,
especially in Thailand, Donnie.
Yeah. Living the dream and making the money.
Stevie Dice, hey, I'm the only thumbs up. What? Let's help Coop and Brooke out and make Darlene smile. Hit that like button, right?
Yes, please. It doesn't cost anything. We answer your questions for free, live on air. The only thing we ask is to give a thumbs up. It's really, really appreciated. If you want to become a channel member, it's only $2 a month. And if you want to buy us a coffee, here it is, the QR code right there. You can buy us a coffee. It costs $5. And it is appreciated. All of it is appreciated. We give out all this wonderful information for free. YouTube does not pay us a penny for doing a live stream.
And with the coffee fund, they do not take their 40% like they do on everything else that you donate. Yeah, crooks. Blakester Drums at Robert Pierpont. Sorry, didn't finish my thought. I feel, and it's my opinion only, that XRP will be 7x or greater before Bitcoin is. So, okay.
I hope they both do.
Yeah, and that'd be nice.
Yeah, and we're all happy, and we're all here at Christmas and say, what a wonderful year. Keep going, Coop.
Robert Pierpont at Blakester Drums, not a chance, in my opinion. XRP will be diluted, and that will keep the price low. Yeah, that's a possibility. I own a little XRP. That's good. Then own a little, and that way it's set up. No way it's going past $10. If it hits 10,
if it hits $10, well, wow, you know, you just forex your money.
Take all your money off the table and leaves the house money to play with. That's my advice. Let's wait and see. Blakester says maybe it's all a crapshoot. Yep, could be. But isn't it fun?
It is.
LV says, gotta love Brooks. Sell a kidney, not your Bitcoin. Correct. I'm not the one who originated that. I think it was Sailor.
Sailor said, yeah, sell your kidney and buy a Bitcoin.
Yeah. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Sell a kidney first. Robert Pierpont at Blakester Drums. Bitcoin cannot be diluted. Correctamundo. No. XRP can and will be. You have to look at the market cap numbers after dilution. Yeah, I think only half of XRP has been issued, so they can do a coin drop at any time. You know, determined by individuals. It's it's not decentralized. So, anyways, not my cup of tea. But apparently, it is being used somewhere on the planet in the banking industry. So, see if it takes off.
Hopefully, it does.
Luigi Roma. Hello, Cooper. It's very nice to see you in a live video.
And thank you. Yeah, we do lives 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday is all about Money Matters, and Wednesday and Saturday, all about Thailand.
Yep. Danny Don says, District Grand Park 2 has its own big Misti tribe. Oh, yeah. He's part of the team, this boy. A bunch of old farts laying by the pool looking like a bunch of poor beach bums. But in reality, they're doing very well with all their new bathing suits. Don's hilarious, isn't he?
He is very hilarious. And he's one of them, so he knows.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of us. Donnie's actually got a point. There is a bunch of us old farts laying around the pool that have Misti, so, and we're smiling.
Yeah. And I've seen in the comments in the past and also on the Facebook group that people have said to me, Cooper, why are you talking about crypto on Mondays? Your channel's not for that. It's for retirement in Thailand. You shouldn't be talking about crypto on Mondays. And if you want to talk about crypto, you should open a new YouTube channel. That's what I've been told in the past many times. And here's the thing. Of our live streams, we normally have 1,000 people view our live streams on Wednesday and Saturday. On Money Matters, on a Monday, our views are over 600. So that tells me 60% of our regular viewers are into crypto.
Yeah.
So it's quite popular. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to keep it the way it is, and we will always do Money Matters
you
on a Monday.
That, so it wasn't a shock to anybody. No. It's Mondays. If
it was only 10% of our viewers were into crypto, yeah, I would consider opening another channel, another YouTube channel, but there's no need to.
And when you look at it, guys, sure, it's a retirement in Thailand channel, originated that way. But boy, when you're here and you start talking to people, it's certainly a common theme that everyone is interested in supplementing their income while in Thailand. And I have people that, my God, it's a godsend. They've got Misti because that's how they afford to live here, versus having to go back home, let's say. And right on up to, individuals that have tens of thousands of shares of Misti, and they don't need the money. It's just, hey, it's a good return. So you've got everything in between. So it seems to be a common theme. You know, money does matter.
Exactly.
You know? And
what do you need to retire?
Yeah.
Income.
Yeah. And then people are concerned about retirement that aren't here. And they're thinking, well, yeah, Thailand sounds good, but how would I live there? I don't know if I have enough money to live here. Well, this type of Money Matters Monday helps people make that decision a lot easier when they have opportunities to research things like Misti. You know, so yeah, that's why it's important.
And other yield max ETFs.
Yep.
And I have a shout out to give, but I don't know who it's to. Someone, it says, bought 3 coffees and says, you said Leanne lost a bet to be on the live stream. She did. I do not know what the bet was, but buy a little something for her. Thanks. And there you go. It just says someone. It doesn't tell me who actually it was because they didn't tick the little box that said they want to be public. So I can give you a shout out and say thank you in person. But thank you to the someone that bought us 3 coffees. And I will treat Leanne and get her something nice.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
808 Bear, Australia loves taxing the people and not our resources. We pay capital gains on crypto swaps already, and we are about to get taxed on, there you go, on unrealized capital.
Yeah, that's what Fox News was reporting last week.
Criminal. People are going to start revolting
soon. I mean, not Fox News, sorry, Sky News. Sky News Australia, yeah.
Yep.
I saw it on there. I was like, what? This can't be right.
Well, the rumors in Canada, like the only thing we have that's of any advantageous tax-wise is one house, your principal residence.
Yeah.
And you can sell that tax-free. Well, now there's talk about, maybe there's a way we can start taxing some of those gains. You know what I mean? Like the crooks. I mean, that's terrible. But it's happening all over the planet, guys. So
I hope it doesn't happen in the U.S.
Well, U.S. they do tax all the gains, even on. But if you
not capital gains.
Well, what do you mean?
They don't tax you on unrealized gains.
No. Well, God, that's terrible. I don't know any country that does that.
Australia now.
They're talking about it.
No, they passed it.
Oh, that I find
actually passed it. Yeah.
There's Alfa Romeo. Gents, what's the better growth stock purchase as of today? MicroStrategy or Tesla? Ooh, that's a good
That is a very good question there, Romeo. And the answer is, I don't know. So what did I do? I put 33% in each one. I put 33% in Misti so I can get extra income. And I put 33% in MicroStrategy and another 33% in Tesla. Because I think those are the 3 fastest horses in the race. And I'm betting on all 3. I don't know which one is going to be the best outperformer. If you ask a lot of influencers, they will tell you Tesla. They say by 2032, Tesla share price, it will be somewhere between $3,000 and $6,000 per share. If you watch a lot of influencers about MicroStrategy, they will say that in 10 years' time, one share of MicroStrategy today will be worth $35,000 in 10 years' time. They're not going to be $35,000 a share, but there will be a lot of splits along the way because the price will only be, about $300 per share. So that's both are quite possible. I just know I'm going into both strong.
I would recommend Alpha the same.
Split the bag.
Absolutely.
Between the 2.
So you got MicroStrategy, guys, is your Bitcoin play. Okay. Pure Bitcoin play. Tesla is your AI play. Well, you're talking the 2 big, let's say, technologies, funds that are, where's the future? Well, it's in Bitcoin and AI.
Yeah.
There's your 2 plays. So I didn't have Tesla bag year ago.
No, neither did I.
Now I got maybe a third of my holdings in Tesla.
Same here.
Probably, almost 70% in MicroStrategy. But I'm looking in personally to maybe get the Tesla bag bigger, hold the MicroStrategy, but build the Tesla. I got to whack a micro. But so I would say for you, Alpha, going forward, I'd do exactly what Coop said, split them to, or at least try to even them out, your holdings, because that way you got diversification and you're going to win on both. And take a look and do a little more research on that Misti if you don't have it. If you're thinking of a monthly income when you're here, and boy, when I started, yeah, that TFSA, and I believe you have one of those, you might want to look at putting a bit of Misti in there.
Yeah, and I got another shout out to give. This time is to Malcolm Hawken, who bought 10 coffees and says, cheers for the great advice, guys. And thank you, Mal. God bless you, brother. I want to treat the kids with that before they go back on Wednesday. I'll take them out for a treat. And thank you so much. And Malcolm has now changed his tune from being a gold bug to being a crypto bug.
Oh, no, he's still a big, huge gold bug, but he's added a little bit of the
Bitcoin. He showed me, Cooper, look, I'm up, I'm up.
He's starting to diversify.
Yeah, and now he's looking to get into Misti.
Man, he was telling me about gold in Australia, how everything is taxed, everything is registered.
There's serial numbers on the gold there.
Yeah,
and as soon as you sell it,
they want their money.
Department
they
knows.
want their money. You know, he gets so Jesus. I said, well, Malcolm, melt some down. He says, I won't even help you because it's all registered. They still know you got it. You know what I mean? Like they're going to hammer you. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Blakester Drums, XRP, with its cross-border payment adoption being implemented by nations and banks, and again, my opinion, has a short and long-term chance of being the moneymaker. Continued.
Yeah. And we got a couple comments in between there.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Blakester. They do have a case use, and if it gets adopted worldwide, obviously that would be a huge plus for XRP. Question is it gonna? And you know, technology is always changing. So I mean, Solana right now I think's the winner, but it could change too.
Exactly.
You know, what I know ain't gonna change is Bitcoin. So
or dog with a hat.
Yeah, or dog with a hat. But John Bain, greetings from Washington. XRP futures go live today. Yeah, well, that'll be a plus probably. You know. But there's a funny thing, guys. The only two ETFs you see currently out there are Bitcoin and Solana. You know, even Ethereum, there's no treasuries on Ethereum.
Yeah.
People have treasuries on Solana and Bitcoin, but not on Ethereum. So, and there's no one has a treasury on XRP. So treasuries meaning that pension funds and governments will put them on their balance sheet and hold. 808 Bear, I should rephrase that to swapping crypto is a taxable event. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Swap between one and the other. Blakester Drums, bit being into this crypto stuff thanks to Brooke for only the last 4 months. What do I know?
What do I know?
Oh, no, that's fine.
That's fine. It's always good to hedge your bets.
Yeah.
That's why I went into the three, Misti, MicroStrategy, and Tesla. That's my whole bag. I don't own any of the miners now. I got out of the miners.
To me, Misti's a bit of micro play as well. So,
but
it's an income generator.
And the reason I got out of the miners was because there's too many people mining on the planet now. You got countries mining, Russia's mining, China's mining, you know, El Salvador's mining. Everybody's mining, and it's taken away from the profits of the miners, the four big miners, you know. So I can see them going nowhere. They're just going to be sort of dead, you know. And I was like, you know what? I lost 15% of what I invested in them. But when I put it into Misti and MicroStrategy and Tesla, I'm well up.
Ditto.
Yeah.
The miners, the problem I see, and I was heavy into miners years ago, and sat and watched. It's kind of like watching XRP. Jesus, nothing's happening. Now, luckily, I was selling calls, so I was generating an income while I'm waiting for these miners to take off. You know what? I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
But at least I ain't got much of them. I did take that and flip that into micro, thank God, back then. So the problem with the miners, in my opinion, Coop, they keep issuing shares.
They diluting the shares.
Diluting.
And your profits are going down and down.
They do not use that money to buy Bitcoin.
Nope.
They buy more rigs. They buy more facilities. They pay off old debt. They're not generating any more Bitcoins treasuries, let's say.
So they're not generating any more wealth, and hence why the shares just keep taking the tank.
I have no problem with Sailor and MicroStrategy issuing more shares. Why? Because they're buying Bitcoin.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're all, as owners, making more sats per share that we own with every purchase he makes.
Yeah.
So he's got the financial jujitsu down perfect. Sailor does. These stupid miners, oh, forget it.
And Sailor announced on X last night he's bought another big bag.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, he said, well, actually, he called it a big bucket.
Big bucket.
Yeah. And we will know when the stock market opens tonight in Thailand how much of a bucket he bought.
I think the miners, this last point on this, the miners will have their day at some point. The question is when. Could be 6 months, could be 6 years. We don't know.
No, but in the meantime, I didn't want to miss out on the bull market.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Not get rid of them. I'll take the loss and take it on the chin. No problem." I took the loss. I invested it into those three, and I am more than double up what I lost in the miners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last point going back to Alpha. He had asked about which was better, MicroStrategy or Tesla, for growth. And that's the key word, growth.
Yeah.
And, you know, our opinion, they're both excellent. I'd own both. I'd recommend both.
Yeah.
It's a buy and hold product in both. That's for growth, guys. Your income is where you want Misti. So you got income and growth. Yeah. If you're concerned about growth, you stick with the other two. If you need an income or you're concerned about a monthly check, supplement it, we'll call it whatever, Misti's your bag.
Yeah. And that's why I took Misti.
Yeah.
So I can earn money. And while I'm earning that money, I can be reinvesting into my other stocks.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what I wanted to do.
Yep.
You know, because my disability is not a lot of money that I get every month.
Yeah.
So it's enough to live on, but that's just about it. So with the so I don't have to sell any more shares, you know, to be able to go on these cruises and stuff like that, and the holidays all over the world, and you know, spend time with the kids and fly them over here. I don't have to sell any of those shares now. Now living on, I've got the extra money with the dividends. I can take half of it, put it in my Thai bank account. The other half I reinvest into my other two ETFs.
Yep.
Both MicroStrategy and Tesla.
People loving their Misti dividends here.
Yeah. And that's the way I like it.
Next, please. Robert Pierpont at Blake's Drums. I've been trading crypto for 5 years and have no faith in XRP. Too many coins, low price. Also, XRP is meant to be more stable. If it's not stable, banks will never use it. A lot to be determined. Robert's got a point there. So put it this way. Do I need to gamble on XRP when I know I have certainty on other options, meaning definitely 100% certain on Bitcoin and you know, not quite 100, but close to it on Solana? I don't have anywhere near that conviction on XRP.
So, I got double that on Tesla.
Well, yeah, but
conviction that's definitely going way up. Yeah. That's money miners. It's all good.
Yep. Alfa Romeo, happy May 4th weekend, aka Victoria Day. Yeah, it's a holiday in Canada, and it is. Yeah, they celebrate that today, I guess, for the 24th, Queen's birthday.
Okay.
Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria, yeah, because you're a Commonwealth country.
Yeah.
So have the same king that England does.
Yeah.
And Australia.
I don't know if
New Zealand,
the Canadian markets will be closed today. I don't know if the US also has a holiday, but I think it's May 30th.
Yeah, it's not today.
Yeah, I don't think it's today. It'll be next week. Live and learn with Mike. There he is. Good morning, DJ Cooper, Brooke, and Darlene.
Good morning to you, Mike. Thank you for coming on and joining us.
Dandy Don Delonic says, I think Darlene will cut her hair for 100 shares of Misti or MicroStrategy.
I don't think so. You could ask her.
I wouldn't.
By all means.
I bet she would.
She said to Bubba, she said, if you give me 1 Bitcoin, I will cut all my hair and I'll give it to you so you can actually have it.
Bubba's a little short on hair. You might just think of that. Terry Fallon, Alpha, I've got a fire going in the wood stove. What the heck? Up in Bancroft. Yeah, it's probably cold mornings up there. Ropin, there's a new one, eh? Ropin, thanks for all you do. Sunshine Coast, Queensland. I know that area.
And thank you, Ropin, for coming on and joining us from Australia. Much appreciated.
Alfa Romeo, Terry, I take the cooler weather and watch the Maple Leafs. Oh, no. Oh, no, the Maple Leafs taking a beating in Game 7, losing 3-0. My God.
That's your team too, Maple Leafs, ain't it?
Well, yeah, they managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory every year.
Yeah, mine is the Buffalo Bills, and
Oh yeah, the Bills are going to be a winner this year.
well, they keep making it to the Super Bowl, but they don't win.
Well, they make it to the playoffs. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I'll be abroad. Florida trying to stop property tax. New York, it'd be a ghost town if that happens.
Yeah.
People are leaving California. They're leaving New York.
Yeah.
You know, high tax municipalities.
We got several of our subscribers here saying they're unregistering from California and moving to a different state.
It's
and then
ridiculous.
registering there and coming back to Thailand.
Even not living there, they're paying these ridiculous taxes. State income tax was being one, property tax. So yeah, they're getting the heck out of Dodge.
New York and California, two highest income tax states in all of the U.S.
Bingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Fallon, Alpha. Oh no, not again.
Yeah.
Alpha Mail. Let's go, Edmonton Oilers. Our new favorite team, Edmonton Oilers.
Switched to the fastest horse on the race.
Mikey D, just got my first dividend from Tesla the other day. Great return. I even got my father involved. Good on you. Brooke and Coop, do you see Tesla ever stopping the dividend distribution? No,
I don't. And as a matter of fact, with the new SEC filing that's been approved, by the way, we didn't put that out, should have done. It has actually been approved with the SEC. So the filing that Brooke was talking about in the beginning of the live stream has been approved, and they're now able to do that moving forward. So
what filing are we talking about?
Where they can actually own the underlying stock of MicroStrategy.
Yeah, but that was on Misti.
On Misti, yes.
Yeah, I don't know about anything on Tesla.
On Tesla's a
We'd
little
have to
bit
research that, Mike, and see.
Yeah.
But
Misti is definitely the fastest horse in the rest.
Well, it's the biggest by volume. In other words, liquidity, the biggest net asset value. Like you said, what is it, 4 billion now? And it's the big dog in the race, let's say. I do like Misti, Mike, or sorry, Tesla.
I do.
Yeah. I looked at that. That would have been my second choice. And the only reason I didn't, I thought, better just stick with one, keep it easy, keep it simple. I still research daily on my holdings. So that means Tesla, I want information, MicroStrategy, I want information. Now Misti, I want information. So if the more stocks I add, Mike, and Tesla would have been one of them, oh, geez, I got to do more research now on that too. There's only so many hours in a day. So keep it easy, keep it simple. But yeah, Tesla should be a winner.
Yeah, because Tesla's forecast to double this year.
Yeah.
A lot of the hedge fund managers are saying, yes, we see Tesla doubling its share price this year. So if it's going to double, Tesla will do very well.
You're in one of the two stocks, and I think Bitcoin and Tesla will continually ramp. There's ones I won't sell. I won't sell those.
No.
Now, your question about will the dividends continue? Absolutely, in my opinion. Why? Your stock price is going up, generates volatility, generates option premium. People are interested. Believe it or not, the higher the price of the stock goes, the more people actually get interested in options, which creates, again, more premium, more volatility typically. And that generates the money to pay the distribution. So going forward, I don't see an issue with that. Question you ask yourself, who's going to pay more? So
yeah,
probably going to be a wash. Damn close. Blakester says, Robert Pierpont, again, a crapshoot. I hope we both are right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I hope everybody wins. I don't want anybody to lose.
Anyway, Bear, new video of Tesla Optimus robot.
I saw
just crazy, the one they're dancing. Apparently, it is real, not AI. It is real. The future of Tesla is not cars. Oh, yeah.
No, it's robotics.
We've known that a while now, and the analysts don't. They don't know it. They still value it as a car company.
I know.
You know what I mean? Hello.
And that's what's going to cause it to double.
Oh, the biggest hoot I had, James pointed it out on Invest Answers, great channel to watch. One of the analysts, I think it was with JP Morgan, downgraded Tesla
price $130.
Yeah, 100 something, 110 or dollars price target. And so James went in and looked at it, like, how could this idiot, where is he ranked on the investment advisors ranking?
Yeah.
You know,
third from the bottom.
Third out of
8,000.
No, it was over 9,000 investors. He was third or fourth from the bottom. So, you know, that's how much faith you want to put in his predictions.
Exactly.
Crazy. But, you know, Coop, it's the old story. that company, I think it was JP Morgan he worked for,
Hmm.
they want to build their Tesla bag.
Yeah.
They put out these stupid price targets, hoping the price maintains a lower, and they go in and buy. You know, yeah, crooked. Likes or drums, only 36 likes at this moment at the time of my post. Hit the damn like button, people. Make Darlene smile.
Yes, please. If you're watching, it doesn't cost you a penny. Stop what you're doing right now. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel because once we get 100 likes, YouTube pumps it out to the next level. If you get under 100 likes, they don't. So that's the minimum criteria that you have to get on a live stream is 100 likes, and then they pump it out even further, and we get even more great people such as yourselves watching and supporting our channel. So please, it's free. It doesn't cost a penny.
Scotty S. from Wahin. Greetings, Cooper and Brooke from the bus from Wahin to Pattaya.
Okay,
he's coming back over. Yeah, we'll see you, Scotty.
Yeah, be great to see you again, buddy.
We met him at breakfast at Route 66 the other week.
That's where we're going to be after today's live stream. 11 o'clock today, we will be at Route 66 for breakfast. So if you want, come and join us.
808 Bear. Blakes or drums. I hit the like button twice. Yeah,
well done.
Only one counts.
Unless he's got two devices.
Yeah, that could happen. Nomad Jack. Good morning, Tony. Captain Action from Tampa. Hello, Cooper, Brooke, and Darlene. Hit the like button. Really enjoying the show. Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you, Captain Action, and thank you for being a channel member and having the badge next to your name. Much appreciated.
Blakes or drums, 808 Bear. Check out videos on robots from Boston Robotics.
They're good too.
Yeah. If both are an honest comparison, who knows the truth? Tesla is a huge step. I don't think they're a step behind. I think they're a step ahead.
Well, here's the thing that they're doing with Optimus.
Boston Dynamics.
No. I'm talking the difference that I'm seeing between Boston Dynamics and the Tesla is the Boston Dynamics one is a lot more flexible. It can do tasks that the Tesla bot cannot yet. Yeah. But here's where Elon came out with a big announcement and said that they're incorporating AI into their new Tesla bot. And they'll have it in and up and running by December on the release. So I think that's going to be the game changer.
Do not bet against Elon.
No. Yeah. He always goes one step further. I mean, you look, he's an EV car maker. All right. Well, there's a lot of EV cars on the planet now. Someone pointed out to me one of my favorite cars in the world on Saturday's live stream, Mustang, now have an EV SUV. And I was like, no freaking way. So after the live stream, I did a YouTube search, and they do. It looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. I would never buy it in a million years. And I love Mustang. Yeah. And they came out with an EV. And so is BYD and everybody else coming out with EVs. But here's where Tesla's one step of the game. They have full FSD. Yeah. And a lot of the other companies are going with LiDAR. LiDAR shit. Yeah. It is absolutely shit. It's a sort of bounces beams, to detect
laser radar. Yeah, no, it's not the technology.
What he's done is he's taken to the next level, and they can't afford to change it. They have to stay with LiDAR now. It'd be too expensive to go the Elon Musk route.
They're cooked.
He's got it on True Vision, so it sees things in real time from all over. It's got loads of cameras on it, and he's got full FSD. They don't. The LiDAR doesn't operate as well as the True Vision. And it's been proven. LiDAR's had many accidents. FSD has had none.
Get out of Waymo if your investment advisor has you in Waymo. I'd be leery of Lyft and Uber as well. I think the self-driving cars are going to take over.
And that takes over that comes into effect next month in Austin, Texas. That's where the grand release is. And I think that's going to be, once that gets out and people start using it, the stock price is going to go up.
Stick with Tesla.
Yeah.
John Delonic, MST, no good. That's that new one that's issued, pays weekly, apparently. As a longtime option trader, you have to let options work. Yeah. Weekly payout, the options may not be in the money or have to be sold early for payouts. We talked about that, Donnie. I totally agree. I
think the monthly is the best way to go.
Proof's in the pudding. We'll watch and see how it does. But I think Misti's the monthly perfect.
Well, they get their first payout this Friday, so we'll track it.
CC Tube 13. Wow, I'm applying for the OA from outside the country.
Mhm.
It requires I provide where I'm going to be staying. I could use some recommendations for a 1-bedroom. Just at Grand Park 1.
Just at Grand Park 1 across the
Yeah.
street from us. Yeah, they got plenty of 1-bedrooms available right now.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Blakester Drums at Don Delonic. I agree wholeheartedly. Just wanted to give it a shot. In 4 months, whatever is left over will go back into Misti, no matter how high. High she goes.
Okay. Well done there, Blakester. Yep, put it in Misti, get that monthly check. And we have a shout out to give. And this one is from Charles Kreider. Bought 3 coffees, says Chuck from Orlando, currently filing OA and hope to see you soon. Okay, so that's you then, Chuck. Thank you for the 3 coffees. And on YouTube, you're known as CCTube13. So that's who it is. Charles Kreider.
Good.
Thank you, Charles. God bless you, brother. And see you soon, neighbor.
Terry Fallon from Bancroft. Gents, see you on the next live stream. And by the way, love the matching orange shirts. We've been orange pilled.
Very symbolic.
Very symbiotic.
Well, I went to the shop, the factory where we buy our shirts, and I said, I want the same orange shirt as my dad's got. So they made 2 orange shirts for me. And guess what? They're this color. So I've got a lighter orange, you've got a darker orange. But then you were orange peeled before me, so it works out.
Mine's shiny.
You orange peeled me.
Yeah. Yours is
when we were living in the Philippines.
Yes, yes.
You were like, Cooper, you need to buy crypto.
Yes, Junior. CC Tube, hi. Solana and Palantir have done quite well for me. Correct.
Yeah, they're both done very well.
Rich Price, love the channel. Bought Tesla last Wednesday, $9.75 a share. Thursday was the ex-dividend date. The share price was $9. The payout happened on Friday and was 75 cents a share. So I broke even. Well, that's typical, guys. So if they issue a $2 dividend on a $12 stock, the day after it's issued, the stock should be 10 because they took $2 of their total asset value and gave it away.
Now, here's the thing, Rich. As the time goes on, the share price will go up. It always goes down when they pay the dividend out because that's how much less profit the company has. And it then goes back up during that during the month for like Misti, for example. Misti will go down on the dividend date, and then the following week after that, it's gone up above what you paid for it.
They start making money. Yeah. It's like, okay, if your total assets are $100 and you give $20 to your buddy, your total assets ain't $100 anymore.
It's 80.
They're $80, right? You just gave away for whatever reason, you know, a gift or something. So that's how it drops. But then again, you start making more money. You go back to work. That week later, you got a paycheck, and the 2 weeks. Oh, then your share price keeps going up. So yeah, it's a history you'll see. That's normal. Blakester says, just to be clear, from my perspective, crypto money is a melding of the money-making minds. Thanks to it, I discovered crypto and Misti, etc. Thanks, Brooke. Okay.
What about Cooper? Where's Cooper's thanks there, Blake? No, but you're right. Brooke did start Money Matters. You started it by yourself over a year ago.
Bitcoin was 25.
Bitcoin was at 25,000 then when you started.
Guys, it's time to get into Bitcoin. 25. Oh, I don't know.
It's 4x since then.
Yeah. But it's always on sale. It's still on sale, guys. So
yeah. And 808 Bear says, I bought the coffee. Not that it's important. Yeah, thank you for that, Bear. What you do is when you buy us the coffee, there's a little box there. You have to actually tick it. And it says, because if you don't tick it, it comes up as someone. If you tick it, then it comes up with your name. And I can give you a shout out. But thank you, Bear. Much appreciated.
Let us know who you are. We prefer to thank you.
Yeah, we like to thank you in person. But it's okay if you want to do it privately because you don't want your real name be put out. I can absolutely understand that.
Blakester Drums. So whether it's Bitcoin, XRP, Misti, LMNOP, let's meld these mines and make some cash. Again, Coop and Brooke, thank you very much. By the way, just invest for my mom, $30K in Misti.
She'll be very happy.
Yeah, Mama's making a nice monthly check now.
Exactly.
That'd probably get you about 1,300 shares. So, you know, 25 to 3,000 a month in extra income don't hurt anybody.
No. Yeah. And I can't now with the new SEC filing that's been approved. I'd be willing to bet that you won't see many below $2 this year.
I don't think you'll see it under 2 the rest of the year.
I'm hoping that's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can see that $2 is going to be the new norm, low.
I
for
think in
Misti.
August, I'm projecting just from my records about a $5 total payment for the month.
Yeah, 250.
Yeah. So $5 a month on a $24 stock ain't too bad.
No, exactly.
So, and just one last point on that. There are subscribers living here on that type of investment, 12, 13, 1400 Misti shares. So bingo, you don't need a lot of money to retire and dividend if you do it right. Rich Price, Tesla did go up to 920 by the end of last Friday. Wow. There you go. It starts. Rich Price, so made a little. Yep.
Well done.
CC Tube, to me, the AI play has been Palantir. It's also a good play. It's just the reason I prefer Tesla. They have more than one life-changing technologies. I mean, obviously, the humanoid robots will be the biggest thing ever to hit the planet.
I think so.
Yeah. But listen, not far behind self-driving cars. You know what I mean? People can...
And then there's the power stations.
The power stations. So, you got more than one option coming. Palantir is good. They deal in defense. That'll always be here. Cybercrime, possibly. That's a, big aspect. But, yeah, I haven't done a lot of research on Palantir. I do know I have friends that own it and swear by it. And I don't see it going away. It's just, pick your battles. I picked Tesla and MicroStrategy, so I focus on those. 808 Bear, lost my Bitcoin and gold overboard in a boating accident. Oh, the poor fellow. The authorities asked him about that, and that was his answer.
Yeah, I'm not paying tax. I lost it.
In fact, I think some of us were on
Prove
the boat.
I didn't. Yeah.
Some of us were on the boat with him. Yeah. We can all swear that happened.
Exactly.
Glenn Shaw, Brooke, your fusion blades are packed and ready for delivery next week. Whoa, we have more coming, Coop.
Oh, wow, nice? More fusion blades. Glenn, get some Twinkies and Ding Dongs for Darlene while you're at it. I'll be more than happy to give you the money for it.
Yep. Yeah, Glenny will pay. Rich Price, I made a nice comment. I made a nice amount in Misti dividends in April and May. Wow. So May was 237.
237.
And I think the month before was 133.
Yes.
So, but still, even at 133, guys,
you're laughing.
You're talking almost 6% on your money
per month.
Per month,
not per year, like a lot of these others.
Yeah, and so the naysayers, the people, and when you tell people this, oh shit, that's a scam.
Yeah,
nobody can pay that. Obviously, they've never done any research and they don't know what they're talking about. So even buying Misti, you want to do your research and you need to understand how they generate this money to pay you. They're not giving you your money back. They're actually making money. And the way they do that, once you look into it, you'll realize they're able to trade options on the stock to generate a profit. These guys, there's a great interview Retire on Dividends did with the managers and co-owners of Misti, YieldMax, and the one is the manager of Misti. And he came there. He's a 40-year veteran.
I know, 40 years experience of option trading.
And the guy, when his buddy, obviously long-time buddy, said, come on. He'd been trying to grab this guy for years. The guy said, okay, one condition, I'll come. I got to have Misti only. Just that's it. I want Misti. Okay, you got her. And sure enough, look what he's done in 14 months. I mean, to get $36 in distributions on a $20 stock over 14 months and have the stock at $23 with an issue price of 14 months earlier. I don't know. Let me check on that. I think that's a pretty good deal, So, and you know who got in on that early? Bubba.
Yeah. Thank you, Bubba.
Live and learn with Mike. I'm very deep into XRP. Okay, Mikey. There is several people here deep into it.
Yeah, and we'll introduce them to you when you get back, especially Don.
Yeah.
Don is very, very big into XRP and has been for many years.
Yeah, swears by it.
Yeah.
Alfa Romeo, Brooke, the Leafs are shining the golf clubs and booking tee times once again. Oh, my Buddha. Maple Leafs losing 6-1 with 2 minutes to go as I write this.
Oh,
There's still hope for next season.
yeah.
Yeah, Robert Pierpont. RZLV is a cheap AI and Bitcoin play, right around 240 a share, and went as low as like 107. Then everything went way down in March to early April, so it's up nearly 150 from these lows. Check into it, NFA. No financial advice. Well, I've never heard of RZLV, and when I look at companies, guys, I recommend going with the big boys in the game. They're typically huge, so you've got big asset values.
Mm-hmm.
You've got typically liquidity. In other words, it's highly traded, which gives you easily in and out options, for that. And usually they have, again, options trading on the stock at a level that is quite big. So there's lots of liquidity as well. So haven't heard of that RZ, Robert. Terry Fallon, Alpha, how many times have we seen this before? Can't count. Talking about the Leafs. Oh,
Yeah.
I know, it's just terrible. I think 67 was the last time the Leafs won. I remember that. Alfa Romeo, 6-1. They'll need a little trip to Thailand to recover. Yes.
See you soon, buddy.
He'll be grieving the Leafs loss. So come to Thailand, you'll feel better. Robert Pierpont, Michael Burry sold about everything he owned. He's not always right, but when he is right, he is really right. Yeah. Also, Warren Buffett is still on the sidelines, although he did buy STZ, which is alcohol stock. Okay. Alpha, I hit the like button twice, once on my phone and once on my TV screen. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done,
much.
Alpha.
Much appreciated.
Alvi Abroad, I think Tesla big trucks is a big part of self-driving for robots to unload. True. Like semis, we didn't even touch on that.
Yeah, they're coming out now.
They're already out.
Now.
Pepsi's used them, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yep. And so these self-driving semis.
I know.
Electric.
Wow.
Whoa. Can you believe there'll be a market for that?
Big game changer. Yeah. Huge game changer. And we got to wrap this up, folks. We're at 9:36 and we have to get ready because at 10:15 we're leaving to go to Route 66
for
breakfast.
Unlimited coffee.
And
yes.
Unlimited coffee. So we're going to answer the last two comments and then we're going to log off. So thank you for coming on and joining us.
Doug Paris, looking to travel to Patty with my Filipina fiance. Well done.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, is there anything we need to be aware of? Yeah, get married here, not in the Philippines. You'll like it a lot better.
Yes, Doug. You want to get an affidavit of support from a lawyer to say that you're going to be supporting her while she's in Thailand. And also what you want to do is get pictures to show proof of relationship, how long you two have been
farther
together.
Back, the better.
Yeah, so if you have pictures with you and her at Christmas, well, that shows that you were together last year. Things like that. If you're doing them on your cell phone, there'll be time and date stamps. So when you print them out, they'll say December 25th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. And there's no way of faking that. So that is a good way to be able to get her out of the country, and you should be okay with that if you got a proof of history. If you guys have met online and you only been together for a week, you might struggle to get her out of the country. Yeah.
They'll, especially if it's her first time out of the country, Doug, they'll probably pull you aside. Don't panic. They'll want to interview you just to see what this relationship is. They kind of get a gut feeling, obviously. We got pulled over because that was Jackie's first time out.
You and Jackie.
Yeah. But 15, 20 minutes is all it took. I had that declaration already made up. I went to the lawyer, they didn't even care about that. They wanted their own signed. You know what I mean? So they got their paperwork. They love paperwork in the Philippines.
Oh, yeah. A lot of red tape.
But we were laughing, carrying on. So they, everyone got along great. So
yeah. And make sure you have a return ticket. Even if you plan on staying longer than a month, make sure you have a return ticket that says that she's going back in a month, even if you don't intend on using it.
Yes. And tell your fiance you'll go up with her, but he'll probably talk to her. Tell her to say that I'm his fiance. Not like Jackie. I said that to Jackie 2 feet before we step up, and she's, I'm traveling with my boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
My God, that was hilarious. CC Tube 13. Word is there are talks between Palantir and Tesla to sign contracts. Cannot verify it. Haven't heard that, but
I haven't heard
that'd
that
be
yet,
interesting.
but it'll be good.
808 Bear, when I'm in Pat's in September, Patia, I want to go to Route 66 to try these thing called grits.
And they do have grits here.
You've had them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they also have them at the one there at what's it, Riviera.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a one there, and they
Restaurant.
serve grits too. Yeah,
Breakfast,
it's an
yeah.
American Creole restaurant. Really good.
LV says, thanks once again for all the alpha you both share. Okay.
And thank you, Las Vegas.
Yep. Live and learn with Mike. Great live stream. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mikey. Richard Willie. Thanks, guys.
Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out.
Directamundo Alpha says, thanks again, boys.
And if you're watching on the replay, hit the thumbs up too. That
Andy Don, Brooke, I sold one kidney in my sperm at the Asian Sperm Bank and bought Misti and XRP. Well done, Donnie. Yes,
now
Donnie,
we got 100
Donnie
Donnie
took the advice.
Juniors walking around here.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. We're out of comments, out of time. Until next Monday, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Stay tuned and God bless.
Stay safe.